Have you ever wondered why some of the smartest people struggle financially and why some of the dumbest people are making millions as we speak? But what if I told you that intelligence alone isn't enough to guarantee that you'll be rich? What if I told you that intelligence is actually the reason people who are smart end up living an average life? And that instead of being smart, there's 3 key things that will determine how much money that you will make. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share the secret which took me from my normal 9-to-5 job to someone who makes $20,000 every single month. Now, if you're watching this video, you probably aren't rich and you probably aren't dumb. And the main reason for this is actually school. Now, in school, we are taught to get high grades and pass tests with flying colors, or we won't go to university and will become failures for the rest of our lives. Now, don't get me wrong, this is mostly true. There is a lot of research out there showing a correlation between those stuck in working class and those same people not going to college or university. This is a double-edged sword though, because I want you to think of the smartest people in your class and we'll call them person A. And the dumbest person in your class will refer to them as person B. Person A probably didn't try and revise for exams that much. They probably prepared the night before and still got higher grades than most people. So they didn't work hard and they were still awarded an A or an A star on their test. Now think about person B. They probably worked very, very hard just to get a C or pass just about. This probably put a chip on their shoulder that they're not smart and everyone else is. That this shows exactly what dumb people have going into the real world, that smart people like you don't. They're used to working hard, a lot harder than people who are smarter than them. But they're also used to failing a lot more, so they know what that feeling is like and it pulls them through every time. And everyone in their life probably sees them as someone dumb, with no future and no potential to achieve anything. But it's not just those things that helps the dumb person join the 1% and become rich. Dumb people tend to not think logically and do what they rather than what they should do. Compare that to someone who is smart, is given the option to pursue a career in football or joining the NBA versus getting a degree and becoming a professional. What are they more likely to choose? What are you as a smart person probably going to choose? Now, most people would think becoming an athlete is the pipe dream. But that's not what really matters here, because it's the lack of critical thinking or having the odds stacked against them, which causes those in the top 1% to become successful. They have that one goal that is super high risk, but has a huge payoff if they succeed. So they go out and try to achieve it. They don't care about what people think of them, if they view them as a failure or a loser, because they've dealt with this their whole entire life. Which leads me on to the next reason, risk tolerance. The reason smart people like you don't succeed and don't break into those high 6- and 7-figure numbers is because of your life. I'm going to generalize here, but the smart people watching this video probably went to school and did well, achieving high grades and making their parents proud. They then went on to college or university and got a degree in something impressive, like law or one of those STEM subjects. Now, if I just describe your life or what your life is going to turn into, listen carefully, because there's a few reasons why you will probably hit a ceiling and never try to push past it. Like the pain you're in right now, the pain of staying stuck in your current situation, that pain is probably not bigger than the pain of wanting to change. Now, let me explain. If we bring back person A and person B from our previous example, person A has excelled in school and made their parents proud. They've got an impressive degree and a pretty well-paying 9-to-5 job that most people in their family or area would kill for. Person B has done awful in school. Probably didn't even go to a good university or might not even got into a university in the first place. They're working a dead-end part-time or full-time job on minimum wage with no social status whatsoever. Now imagine both of these try to change and start a business or leave their current life in the past and move forward. From the outside looking in, person A seemed to have achieved a lot more, and then to throw it all down the drain to pursue a risky dream. Whereas person B, they've been a failure anyway. So if they fail starting a business or quitting their job, who cares? They've got absolutely nothing to lose, not much money, and definitely no reputation. In other words, for person B, the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, which is one of the key determiners in someone succeeding. Almost always involves them changing in some way and leaving behind their old life. But you can't do this that easily working a good job. The reputation that you've built over the years and years of doing well, succeeding in school and university, it all goes down the drain. It's a lot easier to stick with what you just have and just accept it. Smart people are more likely to look at something from a logical standpoint, weighing up the pros and cons of decisions before making it. And again, that's what makes sense most of the time. But when it comes to getting rich, it's about action, learning, and then acting upon what you've learned. And that's what those who are less smarter than you are doing. They are acting whilst you are overthinking, and it's holding you back massively. And I know the reason for it, for not taking action on something that you want to do, because I was in the same way. I've worked a real 9-to-5 job, unlike all of these YouTubers telling you to start a business. And that it's easy. It's not easy, but it is simple. And it starts with thinking less and doing more. The more you think, the more likely you are to waste your time and not get anything done, which will just leave you stuck in your current situation rather than making any progress. Now, so far, we've went over what dumb people have and what smart people like you are missing. But then what's a simple, easy to understand and easy to act upon solution to go from point A, so smart and not so rich, to point B, smart and very rich? Well, this video here breaks down exactly what it takes to become successful. Now, most people have the first two, the idea that they deserve better and some sense of crippling insecurity. It's why people who glow up tend to want to do better, believe that they deserve better, and they are super insecure about the way that they look. And it's also why the 1% who got there without inheriting their lifestyle believe they deserve better than those who work a 9-to-5 job, or those who make less money and they're probably super insecure about how people perceive their status in terms of money. All of these things though, the one thing you don't know is that the key to unlocking all of this is action. And I'm not talking about 2-minute spike in motivation, a David Goggins clip that gives you a little bit of motivation, a little bit of fire, or some rich guy talking nonsense. I'm talking about doing one thing for a very long time until you succeed. And believe me, 99% of people do not do this. They'll never take action for months or for years, seeing no results, but still continuing. And it's why the 1% are the 1%. So how do you take action? Specifically, when the path you're going to take isn't guaranteed at all. You have a cushy desk job, something that pays you relatively well. But how do you leave all of that and pursue something in the hopes of making millions? Well, here is how I did it. Like all of you watching this video, I didn't just start a business at 14 and drive a Lamborghini at 15, then sell a course on escaping the rat race at 16. I took the path that most of you will have or are currently taking. The difference is that I wasn't smart. I got super average grades in school. And even though I didn't end up going to university full time, I still decided to do an apprenticeship. Now for context, at this point, I had been making a little bit of money on the school playground. First selling sweets and then energy drinks, and then using the profits to buy gadgets, which I'd flip for even more profit. But obviously, I wasn't running an agency or making anything like 10K a month. So I had to get an actual job in tech. And so I did. After finishing school, I decided to go into tech. Since I always had an interest in tech gadgets, especially after flipping them. But this career was making me super miserable. You hear those stories of people saying that the 9-to-5 life isn't for them, or they are unfulfilled. But I genuinely hated every minute of it. Answering to a boss and not working on my own terms was just something I resented massively. Now, don't get me wrong, parts of it were super enjoyable and I did have fun whilst working on certain projects, but I wanted to have fun all of the time and enjoy what I do for a living. So I moved into freelancing, still working in tech, but the beautiful thing was I was doing it for myself. I chose the projects that I worked on, the people that I work with. The important thing is when I work. I had control, and the thing that I realized which changed my life is it's impossible to make over 10K a month from a job in the UK because for every 100K that you make, the government instantly steals 35K. But with a business, you're literally given the tools to pay as little tax as possible. And there's no ceiling with how far that you can go. So during 2020, when everyone was locked inside, I got to work and I started a YouTube channel where I talk about tech and everything that I know. Thanks to working in the industry for over a decade. A decade, by the way, is 10 years. And it's grown to over 80,000 subscribers, allowing me to pivot away from just being self-employed to running a real business. Now my businesses and brands make me anywhere from 10 to 15,000 pounds a month. That's 20,000 US dollars for those in America. And just so you have some fair comparison, this time last year, I was only making 3,000 pounds a month. But how did I do it? How did I quit my job and then start a YouTube channel and build a business around it? Well, I did what most gurus won't tell you. I did both. I didn't quit my 9-to-5 instantly. I saved up a cushy emergency fund for when I was going to quit. I actually didn't do that either. I just quit. And I also freelance in my spare time. So I'd work from my 9-to-5 job and then do freelance work in the evening whilst my friends went out or binged Netflix. And then once I quit my 9-to-5 job, I did the same with my freelance gig, except I doubled down even more. I worked 12 hours a day, making money to live and then dictating everything else to my YouTube. But the main thing that you're concerned about, the main gut-wrenching feeling you have when thinking of starting something is if you're good enough. Do you know enough about tech to start a tech channel? Or productivity to start a productivity channel? Or fitness to start a fitness channel? The funny thing is, no one does. Or when you start out, you just accept that there's a learning curve and you'll be bad at something to begin with. But the more you do it, the better you become at it. And that's probably why dumber people take action whilst you procrastinate and put things off. They don't know anything about tech or productivity or finance, so they start a channel about it and worry about learning it as they go. So if you take anything from this video, take this one idea. You have achieved your current job or your current lifestyle. So if everything fails, you can definitely do it again. And people like Kim Kardashian make millions every year. And you definitely deserve more than her. So accept that you deserve more than everyone. Take your insecurities, take action for a year, and take what you deserve, just like I did. Thanks for watching. See ya.